Contracts, actually part of our life in business. We have contracts for different purposes. We have NDAs, we have customer contracts, we have vendor contracts. So without a contract, it is very difficult to operate in this business world. Contracts states the terms as to how we are going to be engaging with our partners, with our vendors, with our customers, with the public, maybe with the government perhaps. So in that sense, that is critical to be able to manage contracts as detailed as possible, as straightforward as possible. And we have been talking about contract management, and some of our followers may know, we also had previously some sessions. We had some lawyers, some counsel experts in the contract management, for example, and you can visit our YouTube channel and you can see some contract management fundamentals and learning from lawyers as to how you should design the contracts, why they are so important from the legal point of view, how they should be designed, how they should be managed, and other legal details and tips that we talked about earlier in our sessions, in our webinars, as well as in our SYNERGIZE 2021 session, which you can find the recordings in our YouTube channel. Today, we'll be talking more about how to manage contracts digitally, why they are important in general, and how actually eBA, our low-code workflow technology, our software, can help you manage contracts digitally in this digital age. We are working remotely, we are working hybrid, and contracts are also going on in the marketplace. And what we see in the market is generally contracts are either managed on paper, or they are managed via email or various word processing software systems, for example. However, the entire process of contract management can be complex, and that's actually a process. You need to have a discussion with your vendor, maybe with your customer, depends on what type of contract you are managing. And also you need to agree on the terms, the content of the contract, and that is a discussion, as a negotiation in a way that we need to have. And these discussions typically run on emails, and it is very difficult to retrieve this history sometimes. That's actually when eBA comes to stage. So let's talk about contracts a little bit. So for that purpose, we develop an application called Contract Manager application, powered by eBA. What does it do? It helps you create contracts, sign contracts, share contracts, store them, retrieve them, pull them when you need to pull them as for retrieving, as well as reports, for example, come in with the certain history as for negotiations, decision points, and so on, as well as renewals. So some contracts, they need to be renewed, and they are periodic. These renewals may be monthly, maybe annually, maybe every 6 months, maybe quarterly. And imagine you have hundreds of contracts going on. It is a challenge to remember which one needs to be renewed sometimes. And that is a common feedback that we get from our clients all the time through our partners. In that sense, that is a challenge that we need to address. So with this application that we created on eBA, you can save time. Because you're going to digitize your contract management process. You save time, as well as you save money because you automate the process. Some things can be automated via the eBA application called Contract Manager. Also, you can have a peace of mind because it's a secure environment. We have encryptions in place. We have multi-factor authentication in place. We have as well as privileges in place for users, for example, as to who can see what part of the solution. Moving forward, you can also increase your profits in a way if that's whether that's a vendor contract or a customer contract, because we'll be discussing the terms. And since you have a better control over contract management process right now with the help of eBA workflow application, then you'll have a chance to have a better term with your vendors as well as with your customers. So that actually gonna affect your bottom line inevitably. So after these brief introductions, why don't we show you how it looks, how it feels, what it does on a very, very high level. I know we all do have contracts being managed in a business, regardless of what industry you're in, whether you are a manufacturer, whether you are a government institution, whether you are in automotive, aerospace industry, or energy company, or maybe you are in mining industry, perhaps. That is also possible. We all have contracts in place and we need to manage them. Some organizations that we are working with, they have hundreds of contracts going on in a very short period of time, and they need to handle them frequently. So that is actually a serious job, since it brings certain requirements as well as responsibilities and maybe implications to the organization. So we need to make sure we know the details of the contracts, we manage them, and we are on top of them. So that is why we put this application together. So for that, I like to invite my colleague Sam. Sam will be showing you how the system looks in terms of eBA, and we'll be talking about it since earlier today in terms of SYNERGIZE. So you may want to also see, and we'll have a very quick tour of eBA, and we'll also show you this application on a very, very high level. You may have questions, and we'll be happy to address. And now, Sam, if you are ready, please take over the screen. Looks good.
Okay. And thank you for joining SYNERGIZE. And this is Sam, the Senior Pre-Sales Software Engineer based in New York. So in the following, I will show you eBA on a high level and also our contract management application. First of all, as for eBA, it is a web-based system, meaning after we deploy the system on your cloud or on-premise server, then the user can connect to your own eBA by using the web browser like Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, or you name it. So you don't have to install any other client version of our application on your local, and instead you can connect to the system anytime and anywhere. And every single user will have their own credentials for logging into the system, since eBA is also permission-based. You will see what you are supposed to do based on the permissions that are granted to your account. And this is the login page after we log into the system successfully, which we can find all the pending tasks and also the request for approval on your homepage in order to make sure you will not miss any important tasks that we have scheduled or assigned by using our system. And in terms of the notification, you will also get one. You will also get one in your email inbox as well. And on the left, this is the modules of eBA that you can find in the system based upon your preference. Because thanks to the module structure of our system, you can also pick and choose the modules that you want to have and deploy on your server. And what you can see on the screen is you can find the document management module, which you can manage your folder structure and also your documents in this particular module. In addition, we have the records management module. In case there is any records or files that has to follow certain retention policy, then we can also set up the retention policy, like the time frame and also the action that we are going to interact with those records by using this module. And we have also workflow management module supported by a very powerful workflow engine. And as you know, like what shared by Ed and also John in the beginning or previous sessions. So by using this module, we can digitize your business process based upon the actual operation of your company and also your expectations. And I will show you one of the example is the contract management module, contract management application in a minute. And at last, we have the dashboard module, which we can visualize your data, and then it allows you to keep tracking and monitor the performance and KPI of your company. So now let us get into the contract management application that we have in this demo environment. And please keep in mind that what I'm showing you or what I'm going to show you is a sample form and workflow in this demo environment. That means we can always update the form design and also the workflow based upon your actual operation and also your expectations. And as for all the applications that we have in eBA, there is a unique workflow working behind it. And right here, we can see the contract management application. And this is the form side, meaning for data entry. And we can capture the vendor information that we have saved in the database. And all this information can be managed in eBA itself and also capturing it from other ERP system. In addition, we can have the system to generate the contract for you so that you don't have to open your Word file and then find where I should update my contract, find the exact place in your documents. And instead, we can have eBA to generate your contract like NDA, or any other agreement or statement by using our system. And you are more than welcome to open any document that you generate or upload in the system within the built-in browser of eBA. So you don't have to install any other application or software to read the documents, and eBA supports like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, image, and even video and audio to be opened in the system. And when we are talking about contract management, of course, mostly we will manage in PDF format as what I'm showing on the screen, so that you can see the exact same data I enter in my application. And this contract has been generated based upon the template that we prepare. Also, we can attach any documents in this particular contract management application. Again, it can be in any format, like a TXT, like a test note, or image, Word, Excel, you name it. At last, we can set up or define the expiration date and ask the system to send us a reminder before this contract is going to expire, so that we can renew our contract before it is expired or on time with our vendor, supplier, or customer. And as for the reminder, we can also define like a different time frame for the notification to be sent, like every week, or based upon certain months or days, for example. As I've mentioned, like in eBA, we can always configure the form and also the flow based upon our preference and expectations. As it is now ready, so that we can send this out, and it will be sent to into the workflow. So right here, we can tell where by going with the green arrow, we can have an idea like who we are waiting for and what is the status. In addition, we can also find the flow history page, as this is the audit trail that allows you to keep tracking and monitor the status and also the progress of your request. So all the information will be recorded with the username and the role, the status, and also the date and time that we have prepared and sent out this request. So right now we are waiting for Larry review and approval. So I'm going to log in as Larry, which you can tell from the username on the top right. And I can find this particular request on my homepage after I log in as Larry. So on this homepage, I can find there is a pending task and get a quick connection to it and start managing this request. What you will see is the exact same data that I have punched in as the requester, so that we can reveal all the information, including opening the attachment or the contract that we generate, as all the information is ready and correct, so that we can approve it and send this to the next approval. Again, coming to the flow history page, and we will see like we are now waiting for the approval from John Brown, which is the next approver in the workflow. So I'm going to log in as John Brown, and then I can have started the recording accordingly. So let us log in as John Brown, which is the last approver in the workflow. And one more thing I want to show you in this contract management application is eBA itself, it has the integration capability, so that we can also integrate with other system or software, including those software for digital signature, As you can see right here, we can also set up different, we can also enter our email address, for example, and our name, so that we can manage this contract for digital signature in other software. For example, like DocuSign or Adobe Sign, for example. So that we are going to approve it and put this into the next step in our workflow, which is waiting for the e-signature, like the digital, which is the digital signature, as I have shown, and logging in as John Brown. So right now the workflow is it is waiting for the e-signature. So what we are going to see is we are going to receive an email coming from DocuSign, and then we can read the document and sign the contract accordingly. And as for eBA, there is a reporting tool that records all the contract that we manage in our system, so that we can find, like, for example, the pending contracts, meaning those are waiting for someone approval and review. We are more than welcome to retrieve them and open this particular record on our screen. In addition, we can also find all the completed contract, meaning all those are signed and it's not expired yet. And we can also find the expired contracts, meaning all those contracts has been officiated and expired. In case that we want to see like what kind of contract that we have for our vendor, so we can also make our quick search in the tool in the search bars and pull the previous record on our screen and see what, and go through the contract that we have prepared or that we have between our company and also this particular vendor, supplier, or subcontractor. It comes to the end of my demonstration on a high level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. Let me take over the screen and we can continue SYNERGIZE 2022. So as shown in the session, on low-code eBA platform, one can manage contracts in a digital environment. You can create forms to manage contracts. You can create your workflows as to how you like to manage the contracts. Contracts can be complex, as per our experience. Some of the organizations that we are working with, they have they manage many different contracts and they have different approval processes. So in that sense, it can be a process as to step by step to generate the contract, to have the discussion with a vendor or with a customer, for example, depends on the type of the contract. And then this discussion and negotiation going back and forth in a digital environment. And all these discussions basically captured on eBA. So you can always pull it as to history of contract processing process, that you can always see what was the thought process, what happened, and how that contract being actually generated and been accepted, or request amendment, for example. We also showed earlier, one can also get renewals for the contract. So there is a notification and reminder also available in the system. So you can get notifications, reminders, and maybe escalations if there is a need as to make sure contract management process actually runs. Earlier today, we talked about eBA a lot, and we talked about certain use cases, and some of our partners talk about their projects, for example, how they implemented eBA in different environments. So eBA is a platform that you can use for many different applications. Earlier today, we talked about applications that's been built on eBA in government institutions, in many service providing companies. And we also talked about expense management, for example, as an example, as to be able to manage on eBA. And right now we talk about contract management as to be able to create, communicate, deliver, and generate contracts and manage them digitally on eBA. So in that sense, there is no limit. The sky is the limit, as they say. So you can create any type of business process, manage them, update them on eBA in a low-code environment. So you can be a citizen user and you can create forms and flows, because at the end of the day, you know your process is the best. So you are the best person who can put things together at the end of the day. So being able to create your business forms, being able to create your workflows, update your workflows. Business may change, companies evolve, business processes evolve. So due to this evolution, you may need to update your workflows, and you can actually do it also on eBA as well with a drag and drop technology in the low-code environment. So these are important benefits if we think about it. Considering we are in COVID-19 age and many companies working remotely, a hybrid, for example, and being able to manage these processes remotely via laptop, via mobile application is actually very advantageous nowadays if you think about it. Great. So let's see if there is another questions. Another question that I get is about a mobile application. Is there a mobile application for these applications to be used? Yes. So there is a native mobile application of eBA that works with Android as well as iOS devices that can be actually downloaded from the App Store. And you can link your eBA application to the mobile app, and you can use it no matter where you go. So that is actually very helpful. And one of the advantages of eBA is anything that you create in eBA environment as for workflow and flow, that is also ready for mobile application, mobile use. So there is no additional work needed. So that's another advantageous point that we need to mention as for benefit, for example. And another important thing is you can use it with your laptop. And as I mentioned, you can use it with your mobile device. The mobile device can be your smartphone, can be your tablet. So in that sense, you can use any device that's available for you. Yeah, okay. So another question is about renewals. How do we receive the renewal notifications? So notifications come different ways. So the very common one that we always put together is, of course, there is an email option that you get the email notification. As Sam demonstrated earlier, there is a dashboard when you log into eBA that you can also get your waiting tasks, your reminders, for example, when you log in eBA. You can also get different type of notifications. Sometimes we integrate with mobile service providers, for example. You can get notifications to your cell phone. That is another application, and there are different ways to basically get these notifications. So the idea is to run this business process on eBay as possible. So as long as your eBay is on, you logged in, you can get the notifications. In addition, as an option, you can also get it as an email notification, which is actually very, very practical nowadays if you think about it. Okay, great. So there may be other questions, but we'll be able to address them also moving forward. So we need to go to the next session, and let me start the recording for this, and then we'll invite our next panelist to talk about audit management, and we'll talk about also our system called QDMS for compliance and quality management.